It's the Odd Drunk Podcast, a very strange podcast. The drunkest show in the world. It's Jackson and Colton talking out of their ass. We don't care as long as drinks are poured. Sometimes we have our friends here. We will talk about anything. We don't care as long as we have beer. And if you let that whiskey ring. The Odd Drunk Podcast.
Yeah, at school and everything.
Yeah,
Anyways,
computer lab.
let's get into this episode. Hey,
Yeah.
everybody. Welcome to the Odd Drunk Pod
Hey,
with Nos. No, we're not going to do a reverse thing. Maybe later. With Jackson and Colton.
not
me
lock
and Colton.
Noskaj,
He's over there.
Noskaj,
N-
Noskaj, and not lock.
Not Lock and Nozkaj. But those are our anti versions. Like, you know how there's Nega Scott?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just red eyes.
Anyways,
yeah.
we are here, and we are recording remotely. You can probably tell already if you're audiophile at least. But yeah, we're recording remotely because your buddy old pal here had the flu. It sucked.
Oh, yep.
I got through it. I'm on the mend, but had the flu. And it's funny, I went back to work today and I was wearing a mask and I had people looking at me and asking like, "Oh, are you worried about COVID?" I'm like, "No, I had the flu." And do you want the flu? No.
Yeah, do you want this?
And not to discredit how dangerous COVID can be, I was telling Colton earlier, but the flu for me is way worse. The body aches and everything, I did not have body aches like that when I had COVID. I
Yeah.
know you can and has way...
I had
COVID's
the first time I had COVID was like that. It was really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, when I had it, I had minor body aches the first day, but it wasn't like the flu. I mostly was like super dizzy and just out of breath and I just felt weak, but I didn't have like body aches. It was
Oh, yeah.
interesting.
No, first time I had
wouldn't
COVID, I
recommend
had
it.
like the aches and the 103-degree fever.
Ooh.
Like really bad.
And see, I'm weird. So when I went to the urgent care, I knew I ran fever the night before, and we're going to talk about our topic in a second. Don't worry about it. You read the title. But I knew I ran fever the night before, even though I didn't have a thermometer, but I broke fever, and which is a good thing, but or at least I think it is. And then I went to the urgent care. I didn't have fever, but the doctor was like, "Yeah, you probably got the flu. It's like everywhere right now." And
Yeah.
then, lo and behold, the results said I had the flu. Luckily, I was negative on COVID. I mean, I don't think you can have two at once, two different viruses. That'd be
I
awful
don't know.
if that
would
if
suck.
that ever happened.
Yeah.
Or would the
Jeez.
viruses compete?
I have no idea.
They would probably fight each other.
Be like a cool,
That wouldn't be good for you, though.
It'd be like a cool like MMA fight though.
It would be COVID versus the flu.
Like if this was Osmosis
Like,
Jones.
you've taught me the old
this would-
ways.
Be Osmosis Jones in that if like
Yeah,
COVID and the flu got
The
in the same
anime.
body. Yeah, there'd be
Yeah.
an anime fight scene.
yeah. But anyways, before we accidentally spread misinformation about viruses, although viruses are weird. If you've ever studied biology, and I took a biology course to get some credits to graduate in college,
Mhm.
which is the first time I've taken biology since high school. It was actually really stupid easy because it was intro biology.
Yeah.
So it was literally just testing us on just terms like, oh, what's a species? What's a genus and all this? And
what's
but-
an animal?
what's an animal? Look at this thing. Is this an animal?
What is the powerhouse of
um,
the cell?
But if you've ever like looked into biology, especially like microbiology and all that, when you look, viruses act like they're alive, but they're not alive. They don't have like the fundamental, they don't have DNA, they don't have cell.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Huh.
viruses are incredibly weird in that way, and that's why there's no like when you get the flu, they're like, yeah, just drink fluids, rest, take some cold medicine, but there's not like a prescription for the flu.
Yeah. It's,
Like if you have
yeah.
a bacterial infection, you get if you have to, you get an antibiotic, and then that fights the bacteria. But with a virus, it's just like, yeah, you just got to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's the sucky thing about getting the flu or any kind of virus, because birds get the flu. The kind of flu I had, influenza A,
Mhm.
ducks and geese get it, and they spread it. And man, imagine being a
Fucking
duck and you
geese.
imagine being a goose and you're doing whatever a goose does, being a dick, and then you get the flu and you're like, oh, this sucks. Oh, just like, that sucks. Like,
Next time a goose gets tries to attack you, just be like, don't
I'm
worry,
gonna tell it to socially distance.
it's just grumpy because it has the flu.
Maybe, possibly, but it could also give you the flu. So tell it the fuck.
Yeah,
Get the hell out of there.
Fuck off, goose.
So hey, social distance, you dumb goose. Anyways, enough about that. Tonight we are here to talk about holiday. Well, before I say it, people wear ugly Christmas sweaters. I almost wore mine. I have a Ninja Turtles one. I'll save it. I'm too hot today, but it's a sick sweater though.
Nice.
Maybe I'll show you later.
Yeah.
But ugly Christmas sweaters, hanging up stockings, the Christmas tree itself, everything about Christmas is based in some kind of tradition. We're talking about holiday traditions for this episode because we're continuing our Christmassy episodes and holiday episodes for 'tis the season, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, just a disclaimer. Well, not really. I mean, we're not going to be talking, at least on my side, I'm not going to be talking about any cultural traditions.
We don't want to accidentally step on anyone's.
I don't want to step on anything. Goals. Yeah. And I don't want to accidentally, make a mockery of something that's really close to someone.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about our personal traditions and also just kind of weird, silly things.
Yeah, I found
because everyone has their little weird traditions. Yeah, that's unique to every family or something.
Yeah, every family has a weird thing, so that's what we're focusing on. Because, if we were going to talk about just your standard holiday traditions across cultures and countries and all that, it would have to be a very serious, rather kind of boring episode. It wouldn't be in our style.
Yeah.
To be respectful. No, I mean, not that it would be hard to be respectful, but I don't think it would be that fun to just be like naming things. So yeah, we're going to stay away from that because I don't want to offend anybody in that way. However, if we offend somebody that does these weird things, in fact, the people that actually posted these things like 9 years ago, I found a Reddit thread. You posted it. You shared it. That's your fault.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about our own traditions here. And I was really disgusted. So I was doing some research for this. And I looked up just weird holiday traditions on YouTube. And the first thing that pulled up, it was like America versus Austria, like traditions. And like, I didn't watch the video. And then I looked in the top comment. This guy was like, it's really insensitive to say a whole culture's traditions is weird. And I'm like, yeah it is.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're going to have fun here. We're going to have fun with it. And don't worry. Before I get started, though, I got to ask Colton a big question.
Yeah.
I've been begging. I've been in anticipation over this question. I've been thinking about it all day. What are you drinking, sir?
I'm drinking gin.
Our madam. Gin. What kind of gin? Is it the one we had last?
Yeah, Breckenridge from Breckenridge.
Was that last week?
Distillery. That was last week. I'm broke until
same
later this week when I
Christmas
get my paycheck.
present.
So,
yeah, I mean,
and if I run out of that, I have absinthe.
There you go.
There we go.
And so everyone listening, and here's some advice. Since I had the flu and I'm still kind of dealing with it, still in my system actually. I'm on like day 5, so I should be good tomorrow, I guess. But I am not drinking any alcohol, I promise, because that would be really dumb. Yeah. Because I'm not gonna lie, I have done that before. I'm just like, oh, fuck it. But that's really dumb because that lowers your immune system, your body's ability to fight the virus or whatever you have. And it can be really toxic and bad if you combine it with medicine. So
yeah,
I am just enjoying a coffee, a cup of joe, and this could be a hint to something we do in the future, something we've been talking about. Perhaps like a morning show, a little extra podcast for Patreon. We're workshopping. And since this is the first coffee to be had without any alcohol on this show, I know you've had coffee of peppermint schnapps before.
Yeah, I've drank coffee on the show before, but not. This wasn't the only thing I was drinking.
Yeah, this is your first box. Well, it's not box standard. In fact, I'm gonna give a little shout out. So I recently tried out Oakland Coffee Company.
Oh yeah,
and it's actually owned by Green Day. The members of Green Day started it. Oh. Billy Joe, Trey Cool, Mike Dirnt. I saw their ad for it on Facebook one time, and I was like, that actually sounds good. And I'm supposed to be getting a free Green Day gift or a single or something.
Nice.
Which is cool. And I am drinking, this one is their Dark Roast, Father of All Dark Roast, which is a play on their album, Father of All Mother...
Yeah.
Lucers, but... which is an album I don't like. However, the coffee is really good.
Nice.
And their mission is to help, because, K-Pods are a big thing now, and that's what I use. And they, sadly, are horrible for pollution. Those little plastic K-cups pile up in landfills. So I would show you, but they've made, and there's other coffee companies that are starting to do this, like this Hawaiian coffee company I drink from a lot. They do it, but it's compostable.
Oh, nice.
Cups. It's like no plastic. I mean, you still have to take it to a compost, but still, it's better than nothing. And it is a good coffee. I would recommend it. I also have their medium roast, which I haven't opened yet.
Nice.
Yeah, and isn't it a misconception that dark roast is more caffeinated?
Yeah, from what I understand,
isn't it actually the other way around?
The other way around, yeah.
So light roast would give you more caffeine.
Yeah, although I'm sure in most cases it's not enough of a difference.
Negligible.
Yeah, to really make it to matter.
No, but I mean, it's I mean, I it's a good coffee. I don't know much about. It's earthy.
Yeah,
it tastes like just a good. It just tastes like a good quality coffee. I mean,
I appreciate a good cup of coffee. I like coffee.
If we do that morning show idea, we'll have to. Well, at least I'll have to learn my coffee verbiage. Anyways, we're gonna talk about some weird, funny, odd, because Odd Drunk Pod at Odd Drunk Pod at Instagram. There we go. Plug. Check it out. Give us a follow. Give us a download. Whatever. A review. That would be cool.
Do the thing.
If you listen to.
Show us some love.
Show us some love if you want. But if you have nothing good to say, just don't say anything at all. But if you do, we're gonna call you out. Unless you have really good reasoning, then I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so before we get into it, looking at other people's unique traditions, let's talk about ours.
Yeah.
Christmas. We both celebrate Christmas.
It's a fun holiday.
But I can tell you, we both celebrate it in different ways.
Yeah, you have a Ninja Turtle sweater and I have a Skyrim sweater. You couldn't get more different than that.
Yeah, I got to show you now. Since
yeah, show. Maybe we can.
Really rad. It's rad.
Maybe we can.
I got it on Merchoid.
Oh, nice. Maybe we can post a picture on the Instagram. Now, I'm trusting that everyone listening is following right now.
When we record in person again, we could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better be following right now if you're listening. I haven't seen your Skyrim sweater though. I don't think.
Well, I think I've shown.
Is it a new edition? Hey, if we ever start doing video podcasts, at some point, for one, we would have to get better webcams.
Here we go.
But this would be a great opportunity.
Oh, dude, that's cool.
So there's the front. It says "Merry Christmas, dudes."
Nice. I like that.
They're all holding pizza, and it's got pizzas throughout. And then the back is a little different. I just been into Ninja Turtles lately, not actually watching the shows, but I want to check out the last. Oh, I've seen. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think you've seen it, and it has on the sleeve.
I love that one because
the Imperial logo thing. It's cool.
I love that sweater because your layman would be like, "Oh, that's a nice Christmas sweater. Oh, is that a dragon?"
Well, I wore it to work I wore it to work last weekend, and like every other person who walked through the door was complimenting it, but only one person the whole night recognized it as Skyrim.
No,
but everyone was like, "Wow, that's cool. They're dragons." Some lady
reminder like, "Oh."
Some lady was
Ninja
like,
Turtles.
"That's a cool Christmas sweater," and then she took another look. She's like, "Oh, I guess it's dragons. I guess it's not a Christmas sweater." And I was like, "Dragons can have Christmas too."
Yeah, what the hell?
Why not?
But yeah, I mean, ugly Christmas sweaters. Some are uglier than others. That's a tradition. That's a modern kind of capitalist commercial.
It's Christmas one of my more favorite traditions. I like Christmas.
But also, sweaters. I guess, if you have a grandma that makes you a homemade one, that's great.
Yeah.
I do have a homemade sweater, but
nice.
I don't wear it too much because it's sacred. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't want to ruin that on accident. That'd be bad.
Nah. I mean, yeah, it would be bad. But yeah, I've been into Ninja Turtles lately, from the game Shredder's Revenge, and I have we talked about in our 1991 video game episode, but yeah, I've been playing all the old school Ninja Turtle games. I've just been having a lot of fun.
Nice.
And I've heard it's really good. The Ninja Turtles Last Ronin comic.
Oh,
it takes it back to its darker, grittier roots.
I've heard about that.
And it's basically
he just wears and he wears just like a black bandana.
Yeah, so you don't know who it is.
Sure which Ninja Turtle it is.
But all we know is it's kind of like an Old Man Logan thing, where like all the other turtles have been slain, the foot ninjas have gone afoot. You could say, and but he's like all the turtles in one, like kicking ass and old and gritty, and he's like pissed off, and he's had enough of it.
He ain't eating pizza no more. He's eating calzones.
Oh no.
He's matured.
He's depressed.
Yeah, depressed. He doesn't want fun food. He still wants it to taste like pizza, but it can't be fun like pizza.
No, it has to be practical.
Because he's depressed. Yeah, it has to be practical.
Yeah, because calzones are just the depressing version.
Yeah, I mean, I do like a good calzone, but
no, me too, actually. But you can't deny their depression they exude. But
they are
so
not nearly as fun as pizza.
Besides different Christmas sweaters, I guess I could get into mine, and this one isn't like it's actually more common than I thought it was. When I talked to some people and looked it up online. But now we don't do it all. We have our own twist on it. But So it's a common German tradition. This comes from German traditions to actually open gifts on Christmas Eve.
Oh, yeah.
You have Christmas Eve dinner and you open gifts. And what we've always done, back home and when I was little and everything and before I grew up and left. But we would invite pretty much all the extended family that could make it to our place.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, extended family, would get something. They would get a gift.
Yeah.
A little something. Even if it's a little cheap or just socks or just whatever, you would get something. And we would all have dinner and open gifts that night on Christmas Eve.
Mm.
And there's some, I don't care either way. I'm not like, oh, it has to be that way. I know most people open their gifts just on Christmas Day. It's like because you say, oh, Santa got them and everything. And that's why I always liked playing along with the whole idea of Santa when I was a kid. But we've discussed it before in one of our episodes, I think, last year. I was onto it pretty soon.
I don't remember
6 or 7.
I don't remember at what age I figured out Santa wasn't real, but I do recall that when I was like in
I saw a price tag.
When I was in middle school, I argued with my parents over it. They thought I believed in Santa longer than I claimed I did.
That's what my parents always say, and
to be totally honest,
that's what my mom says.
Yeah, she would always be like, "You took a long time to." They'd always be like, "You took a long time to figure it out," and I would always be like, "No, I knew a lot longer." Like, to be totally honest, though, my memory is so fuzzy. I don't actually know when I stopped.
I just had this discussion with my mom, and she was like, "Yeah, you believed for a while. It took you a long time to find out." And I was like, "Mom, I always knew, but I didn't want to ruin it. I just played along."
I mean, I
liked, even when I knew it was obvious, I liked having fun with it. I hated those kids that were like, Santa's not real and everything. And I'm like okay. Don't ruin the fun of it, though. I mean,
I do recall I do recall that there was a period of time where I didn't believe in Santa anymore, but I was still playing along.
Yeah. Well, because the whole idea of Santa, that's a super old tradition in itself. And Coca-Cola is actually back in the 30s and 40s. They created like our iconic version of Santa. Before then, he wasn't a big fat man, and he didn't necessarily wear red, and he didn't necessarily have a big beard. Like St. Nicholas, going all the way back then, I mean, has little to nothing to do with our Santa now.
Not really, yeah.
I mean, the main thing, he gave food and gave out food and charity and
he was just I don't know. I'm not super familiar with the actual Saint Nicholas.
We talked about it before, but I've completely forgotten.
I'm familiar with the legends of some saints. He's not one that I've looked into much, really.
So we would open gifts with like our extended family and have dinner and just kind of party and everything on Christmas Eve. And then like the main gifts would be from Santa. That's what my mom did. She would have like we would get like the little kind of stocking stuffers, smaller gifts and stuff on Christmas Eve. And then the main one, like the game or whatever, GameCube.
My parents would do the stocking stuffers. Those were from Santa. And then there would be one other present that was from Santa. Everything else was other stuff. But we did we got to open one gift on Christmas Eve, and it was always a set of pajamas.
Nice.
That you got to wear. You got to put them on and wear them to bed. Yeah.
And my grandma,
and I really love that my mom still does that for us.
Nice. And it's always pajamas. That's nice. Always I like that.
Yeah.
My grandma on my so my paternal grandma on her side of family, her tradition always was whoever woke up first on Christmas Eve would get to open one gift on Christmas Eve. Just one, though. And you can pick any of them. So, like, if there's gifts under the tree, that's a typical thing. If you woke up first, you proclaim you woke up first, and then you can pick out one gift.
Nice.
And whenever I stayed at her place, I would get to do that if I woke up early enough.
Yeah.
And then I convinced my dad to let me do it anyways. And I was like, hey, I'll pick out one that seems lame. No, no. One Christmas Eve though, I did that. I actually only did that a handful of times, but I did that. I argued with my dad, and he was like, fine, do it. Since your grandma said you could and everything. Your Nana, actually. And I opened a gift, and it was Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It was the purple one. I forget what it was called. Dog Day? No, not Dog. Was it Dog Days? Is that
I don't remember the
one?
title of them, but I remember reading all of them.
Let's see. But I opened a Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, and I read the whole book that morning.
Nice.
Because they're really quick reads.
They are. I like them
because it's comics.
My grandpa would always, and this wasn't specifically a Christmas tradition, but he would do it for Christmas. Is the standard gift he would always give was a book. Just always.
Nice.
And the rule is when you turn 18, he doesn't give you a book anymore. He gives you a Barnes and Noble gift card. He's not gonna go pick.
So you can get your own damn book.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not gonna go through the effort of picking it out for you. But I always cherish that tradition of always get a book from Grandpa.
So yeah, the one I got was The Ugly Truth, and I read that morning, and I was like, okay, I'm done with that.
Yeah,
but
it's a good way to spend a Christmas Eve morning, right?
Yeah, it was nice. Getting into all those hijinks. That'd be something to cover at some point.
I want to ask you. So it's often tradition. A lot of families have traditional things they cook for Christmas, either whether it's Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Did your family had a thing that they made every year?
Not really. Well, not anything specific. My mom would always try different stuff out, but so we would always have Thanksgiving at my grandpa's, like always, pretty much. I mean, every year. So my mom would basically cook Thanksgiving style food for Christmas, ham, turkey, all that, and she. One year she made just really good chicken enchiladas. She just always tried different stuff out. Nice. However, desserts though that's always the same basically every year. We would always make sugar cookies together. I feel like that's a pretty common thing.
I would do that with my grandma.
Yeah, decorate them. And
when I got to see my grandparents, they lived in a different state than I did. So we didn't see them every year.
But the only common thread that I can recall was the sugar cookies. That was always the same. And we would also do fudge.
Ooh.
That was another one.
Homemade fudge. Nice.
Yeah.
My family,
even though I always made my mom mad though, because I'm not a huge fan of fudge personally. I think it's overly sweet. Yeah. It's just too rich for me.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but I appreciate some good fudge though.
Oh, seriously, yeah.
My girlfriend loves fudge. She's a big fan of it. My family, our only regular thing is that on Christmas morning we would make breakfast. We do scrambled eggs, we do some sausages, we do a fruit salad. We would do with like some cinnamon in it, and we would do like orange juice. And my mom would make pumpkin bread.
That sounds good.
And I have that recipe. It's a good pumpkin bread recipe. But as far as like dinner goes, Christmas Eve, we would always make dinner, but it was like there was never a specific thing. There was maybe 4 or 5 years there where for some reason we latched on the idea of making a homemade ravioli.
Nice. That sounds good.
Which was very good. But I also remember many years on Christmas Day for dinner, we would just go out to get Chinese food.
That would happen sometimes, especially so like Christmas morning, we would just eat leftovers from Christmas dinner.
Right.
We wouldn't make breakfast unless my dad wanted scrambled eggs or fried eggs, and that's up to him.
Yeah.
But for a while I wasn't really into cooking besides like helping make cookies and like cake and all that kind of baking. I liked baking when I was younger. Now I'm way more into just actual cooking. But yeah, we would eat leftovers, and then there was a couple times we were like, oh, we don't have that many leftovers because we had so many. I mean, I remember a couple Christmas Eves where we had like 60 people in our house. Family, extended family, friends, everything, and like they just cleaned it out. And we wouldn't have much leftovers. So yeah, often we would also get Chinese food or sometimes Mexican because we had a really nice Mexican joint close to our house, which unfortunately closed down.
Oh, that's too bad.
This year. But I think they got bought by another owner. But anyways.
Yeah, no, my
anything else?
Occasionally I'd be at my grandparents' house up in Utah during Christmas, and they would do like the traditional Christmas dinner, like ham and all that sort of stuff. But when we stayed home for Christmas, we didn't invite people over. There was never relatives there. It was just us. And we would do, whatever we felt like for dinner. Then we'd make breakfast, and then we'd get Chinese food on Christmas Day because we didn't want to cook.
Yeah, Christmas for us, Christmas Day was just the nuclear family, just us. Yeah. Now, if my grandma stayed the night, it would be her, but it would be, a very just small.
I recall one year in Durango here.
But Christmas Eve would be big.
I recall one year in Durango here, I also went to get Chinese food on Christmas Day, went to China Cafe. It was like me and my girlfriend, Caleb, was there.
Nice.
Maybe it was Chase was there too.
Oh yeah.
We just went to get Chinese.
Was it May Palace? Or no, China Cafe.
It was China Cafe because May Palace was closed.
Oh yeah, they closed for a holiday. Yeah.
Yeah.
China Cafe's good.
Yeah, they're okay. I've found stuff.
I prefer May Palace.
Before. May Palace is the good place.
Well, I'm the kind of guy nowadays. I'm not one of those like, get me your manager, Karen's or Kyle's or whatever the male equivalent is. But I'm like, ew, and then I kind of stop eating it, and then I just leave.
Yeah.
If I find hair or something.
If I find hair, I'm like, go get me a beer. And then I'll just have that, get some calories, and then I'll go.
Any other specific traditions you had?
I wouldn't say it's a tradition, but I have a lot of, because we would occasionally not every year, but often we would go during December to visit family. So I have a lot of fond memories of sitting in a hotel room watching Christmas movies.
Well, there's another one. I mean, binging Christmas movies in itself is a holiday tradition. I mean, it's the mainstay. I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do around Christmas is watch wholesome. Sometimes we did our Christmas movie tier list. We have a lot of opinions about things.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun doing that.
That was a fun episode.
We ended up, and just before anyone's like, "Ooh, wonder what they did," the original Grinch was S tier, Elf was S tier, and those are the only ones I'm gonna tell you. You got to listen to the episode.
Go listen to the episode. Yeah,
but I guess another tradition, but we didn't do it every year. But we did have a big outdoor ice rink, and we would go ice skating around Christmas time.
Nice.
But, we kind of started making that a tradition, but then I was like, I'm not good at it. I mean, I'm good enough to go around.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much the extent. And then I remember one year there was he was obviously some kind of ice skate dancer or something trained, because this guy was just zooming around, doing twirls and jumping, all kinds of shit. Like, and I was like by the wall.
I think I went ice skating a total of like twice my entire childhood.
Really?
And those were like when I was
ice skating.
I was really young. I was like in elementary school. And then the next time after that I went ice skating was after like 3 years of driving the Zamboni at the ice rink here in town.
Yeah.
Finally, someone was like, Colton, go out on the ice and keep an eye on these people. And I was like,
I'm not really the guy for that.
Okay, I'll give it my best shot. And
yeah,
I fell down a couple times, but it was okay.
Yeah, that's part of it.
It's not the hardest thing in the world.
For some reason, I was always better at roller skating than ice skating. I don't know why.
I'm better at roller skating than
the ice was just intimidating. I don't know why.
But, I did ski a lot during Christmas time growing up.
Nice.
I liked that. I don't like skiing so much now. It's
I'm terrified of skiing, to be honest.
Yeah, well, when I was a kid,
I got to try it.
I had no sense of self-preservation, and I just liked going fast.
Yeah, that's a thing for a whole nother topic. It's like people always ask me, "Oh, you used to do this and that when you were a kid?" And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't realize what would happen."
Yeah, when I was a kid, I would like try going off.
I didn't care. I was just like,
on my
let's
skis. Go. And then nowadays, when I go skiing, I'll tell you, if I went skiing this winter, I'll tell you exactly how my day would probably go. I would do maybe 2 runs, and then I would go sit in the lodge and drink beer. That would be my day. And I'll tell you what, because I like hanging out in ski lodges, but I'll tell you what, you don't have to pay for a pass to sit in the ski lodge.
No.
In a lot of ski resorts.
No, I would opt for just snow tubing.
Oh, yeah.
You go down a few times and then have it.
That's always fun.
I know, I need to try skiing, but the horror stories I've heard.
You either like it or you don't. And it's just, for me, it's...
I mean, I like it.
As an adult,
the adrenaline
it's
rush.
just not for me.
I get the adrenaline rush of things, and I used to ride dirt bike all the time, which is just as, if not more dangerous.
Yeah.
But I felt in control, and skiing, I would have to just learn it, and I don't feel like learning it. I don't have the time. It's expensive.
I also
it's a lot.
I skied a lot when I was a kid, and then I went like 7 or 8 years without touching any skis. And then I went skiing at Purgatory with my sister and her boyfriend at the time. And
nice.
I went up onto
Tangent.
Yep. But I went up onto the lifts, and he just took one look at me, like how I was like handling the skis, and was like, "Nope, I gotta teach you how to ski, otherwise you're gonna end up in the hospital today."
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the type of thing you really have to know what you're doing. But anyways, we're doing the tangent point thing. We've been doing it for a few episodes now. Yeah. And basically every time we go on tangent, you get a point. Once you get 3, you have to take a shot. And I forgot, do the tangent points carry over?
I don't.
Or do they reset?
I think they reset. I think we agreed on them resetting. I'm not totally sure.
Okay. We're still workshopping it.
Yeah.
But another tradition actually that came to mind, because it's something I'm doing this year, and I've done it a few years, but advent calendars, where you get a little chocolate or something.
Oh yeah.
For the 20, sometimes they do 25 days, sometimes it's 24, but either way,
that's
each day of the month leading up to Christmas. And I got we've been doing the Lego Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special advent calendar.
Oh, cool.
I snagged that as soon as I saw it on the shelves, because I was like, I've seen Marvel advent calendars, but they're always very generic and everything.
Yeah.
But a Guardians of the Galaxy one, that's pretty special. And today was day 13. It's this day of recording, and I got a little Mantis minifig with a guitar.
That's fun. Nice. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always thought about doing one of those Lego advent calendars, but never have.
It's actually fun. You're not going to get like crazy builds, but you get a little something every time, and it's a good way to get minifigs.
What we almost
got. I have a Nebula one. Nebula one, and she has a Christmas sweater, and it has Thanos on it.
That's fun.
Yeah.
What we almost got for the show, for a craft beer advent calendar. We sold out of them though. But
but that would have been cool. My girlfriend got a 12 days of cocktails thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've shot. It comes with the mix.
I've seen advent calendars where each day is a different whiskey. a little
nice.
shooter,
I bet that's pretty expensive, unless
Oh
it's
yeah,
really cheap.
yeah, it's probably pretty expensive.
It depends, I guess, if you're getting really cheap whiskey.
24 or 25 shots. And if it's decent whiskey, that's several dollars a shot at least, probably.
Yeah, that would add up.
So it's probably $100.
So yeah, Advent calendar is another one. It has not really a huge tradition of mine. We would sometimes do it, and you also get those calendars or little things where it's just counting down to Christmas.
We would always do it just like a little calendar that it counts down, but we never did like an Advent.
That's what we typically did.
Treat,
But the Lego Advent calendars, I would recommend. At least the Guardians of the Galaxy one, I would recommend. They always do Harry Potter ones, Star Wars ones every year.
Yeah,
I bet those are fun.
The other tradition I want to mention. Well, it's a tradition for me. Is on Christmas Day, is I play a shit ton of video games.
Oh yeah, that's always. Well, I remember
often
I got
because
Skyrim.
I would get a video game for Christmas and then I would play it all day. And of course my dad's Christmas tradition would be to take a nap on Christmas Day. Just to nap
and you
all
hear
day.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Is it your headphones?
Oh, I accidentally turned my headphones down. Sorry.
Yeah. No, but
these are new gaming headphones I got.
Oh, nice. I was considering buying a set of those.
They're actually wireless too. They're the Steel Series.
Ooh, nice.
Which is actually a good brand. I use it to play on my PlayStation, and yeah, they're nice. Anyways, little plug.
But no, my dad's Christmas Day tradition was to nap and stay away from people. So the TV would be open. So I play video games.
Nice. No, we talked about it on our Skyrim episode, which I want to do another one again because the audio quality and everything. That's the whole thing. But we had to post it. It's still fun. We had our friend Caleb on it. But I got Skyrim for Christmas 2011. And when I got that, I literally played it all night.
Nice.
And I had my TV in my room, so it didn't matter. And I played it all night, and it's so funny because my grandma's boyfriend he went gambling. His tradition is that he goes gambling every Christmas Eve.
It's a good tradition.
And either he loses a lot or he's one of those guys where he'll go back and he's he is oddly lucky, like very lucky. Yeah. I remember one time him and my sister and my uncle went gambling at a casino and they came back. He won like something around like 2,400 or something.
Nice.
Pretty decent. And it might have been more, but I remember I was playing Skyrim all night and my mom and grandma were pissed off that he was gone all night. And they were like, oh my God, not again. And I was playing Skyrim all night and then he came back and he told me about his winnings and everything. And he just kind of watched me and sat back watching Skyrim. And we were up, both of us, till like 9 a.m. I was playing Skyrim.
That's great.
He was telling me about his gambling adventures. And I was like, cool.
Some gambling adventures, some fantasy adventures.
Exactly.
I mean, it was a good time.
It was fun.
Fun.
It's a fun memory. But yeah, the video game thing and movies. Anyways, I don't have much else to talk about on my own traditions.
I don't really either.
However,
the main ones.
So I got a few different lists here. So on Reddit, there's a holiday mega thread. This is from 9 years ago, so it's dated.
Nice.
But it's the top one I found. What is the weirdest holiday tradition your family has? So this is all just people's personal, just weird family traditions. And there is a lot of gems here, I must say. I am not sure which one to start with. Oh, here's a good one. This is from Junkie Culture. While I was growing up, my dad and I would hide a potato wedge somewhere on the Christmas tree every year to see how long it would take for my mom to notice. Our record was 9 days.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Additionally, also, this isn't really a tradition, but my mother has these wooden letters that spell out Santa that she puts out on display during the Christmas season. And I have been rearranging them to say Satan for as long as I can remember. She gets pissed off and changes them back whenever she notices, but I just keep doing it.
It's like not a Christmas thing, but one time I thought it would be really funny if my mom had a ton of photos around the house that honestly she had just a lot of stock photos around, like those Hallmark.
Yeah, well, that's funny for your mom being an artist.
Yeah. So it was just like these nice displays, and she wouldn't always change out the pictures that came with them. Oh,
I see.
So I one time went around slowly replacing photos with photos of Steve Buscemi to see how long it would take her to notice.
That's great.
It took her a few days.
That's great. Well, this is a completely side thing, but I remember when me and my friends in our computer lab, we changed it where every image on all the computers in the lab, we got a lot of trouble. But had Nick Cage.
Nice.
And we went as far as doing different pictures of Nick Cage.
Ooh, effort.
Yeah.
I like it. I appreciate that. No.
While we were not doing our assignment.
That sounds like something that if I was in your class, I would be very much enjoying watching that happen.
We were honestly putting more effort into that. It was harder to do that than the actual assignment. But we had to.
That's pretty good.
This guy commented on the one I just read. My brother does that about the rearranging letters. And yeah, Santa is the anagram of Satan. And they even make that joke in the new Santa Clauses show, which if we do that commentary on the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, cocaine era, but not outspoken right-wing era, but they even do that joke in it. And yeah, the show is very just family friendly, it's all right. It doesn't have that edginess of the original. But yeah, this guy said, my brother does that with my mom's Feliz Navidad wooden letters. My mom was not happy to walk into the living room after one workday and see Nazi Dad next to the picture of my father on the mantle. Oh, jeez.
That's pretty good.
It's funny because it's bad, Colton. And then this person says, oh, that one's not too funny. Oh, here we go. Midshipman 89 says, we have an orange smashing contest at Christmas Eve dinner. Not the chocolate oranges like normal people, but real oranges. Everyone at the table gets one and gets one to hit to do as much damage as they can. My grandma is the judge, and the winner gets to open their present first the next morning.
I like that.
I've never heard of this.
I mean, that's fun.
Smashing oranges. And yeah, this guy, ironically, his name is Citrus2644. He said, this is fantastic. And then this other guy said, wait, normal people crush chocolate oranges? I've never heard of it, to be honest.
I've never heard of that either, no.
It's normal to crush chocolate oranges? What?
Maybe it's not an American thing. Maybe it's a British thing or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, they didn't say where they're from, but that sounds fun, though.
Yeah. I like crushing things.
Here's a good one. My family and several other families in my church. So this is the whole church that did it, but it's not specific to religion, but other families in my church would sometime after Christmas scatter all the Christmas trees and have a Christmas tree bonfire on the beach. It was perhaps the best thing ever. So my church was busted for throwing 3 trees onto the fire at once, causing a huge, magnificent 20-foot flame to erupt. The fire department was called. Our tradition pretty much ended after that.
Wow.
Yeah. Keep your traditions safe.
Yeah.
Safe.
I love a bonfire as much as the next guy, but yeah, keep it safe.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't be like my dad and pour straight gasoline on a fire to get it going. He almost blew his face off. Anyways,
this is
another tradition.
This is gonna be okay. This is gonna be a tangent, but I have to say it after that note.
I have one too. You go first, though.
Okay. I used to go camping with a bunch of other kids from my church when I was growing up, and
yeah,
I was one of the older ones. And I remember there was one time they were playing on like bug spray and stuff like that, and like trying to they were talking about like, let's throw it on the fire, see what happens. And I was like, don't do that. That's a very bad idea. And then, a little bit later, I was
the voice of reason.
I was like, I'm gonna go to bed. You guys behave like I was like 18 or something like that, or 17. It was right before I left the church.
You're like,
and these were the 13-year-olds, the kids and stuff. And
of course.
So I was like, the adults had gone to bed, and I was like, I'm kind of watching them. So I'm like, I'm going to bed now. Behave. And I go to bed, and as soon as I zip up my tent, I can hear them go, Colton's gone. Grab the bug spray.
That's pretty good.
Immediately, I remember just being like, you know what? They burn their face off. That's not my problem.
That's their fault.
I told them not to. My conscience is clear.
Did they burn their faces off?
No, they were okay. But it did blow up though. Yeah. As you would expect.
Oh, it would.
Yeah. Pressurized can
gives us 2 tangent points. And here's our 3rd tangent point. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I could, like I said earlier, grab some NyQuil. But
we could always veto it for next episode.
We can veto it. Let's veto it. So
if we're not feeling up,
let's veto it for our commentary. So we're rearing to go.
Yeah.
Let's. Okay. Anyways, a tradition. This isn't a holiday tradition, but it's one I kind of am disgusted by and hate. The whole gender reveal. For me.
Yeah.
Now, in general, well, if it's done just in a very nonchalant way, it's like, oh, here's a pink sock. We're having a girl. Yada, yada, yada. I just hate it when people make such a big deal out of it. It's like, congratulations, you're having a baby. And yeah, you have a basically 50-50 chance. Well, I don't know all the genetics of it, but yeah, it's either going to be a boy or a girl. Okay, big whoop. But a few years ago, I heard about a gender reveal in California. I think it was in South California. And it involved fire.
Oh, good.
And either way, in the midst of their gender reveal, and we could do a whole episode on this, they started a ginormous wildfire.
Oh, fun.
And caused millions of dollars worth of damages. Millions. So don't be an asshole and make an explosion. I heard about another gender reveal, and this is in Florida, of course, where it involved alligators and someone got hurt.
The El Dorado fire in Southern California.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm familiar with this fire.
I knew it was real. Yeah, yes. I knew it happened.
I just looked it up. Yeah, and they were criminally charged.
Good. I mean, that's a serious crime.
23,000 acres were burned, destroying five homes and 15 other buildings, and claimed the life and killed a firefighter.
So people lost 500 homes and a firefighter died, and we lost 23,000 acres of
5 homes. 15 other buildings. A man died.
Wow. All over a fucking gender reveal.
That's insane. I've heard of this fire. You said Southern California, and I'm like, because I'm from there, I kind of make myself aware of the wildfires that are going on in the area because I have family and stuff. So I was like looking it up. I'm like, I wonder which fire this is. It's the El Dorado fire.
Anyways, going back to
I did not know that was a
traditions.
gender reveal fire.
Yeah, as far as I know, it was started because of a gender reveal.
That's wild. And that's sad. That's super sad.
And just the amount of stupidity.
I'm the type of asshole.
Well, I'm sure they were in a fire band too, so they obviously ignored that.
Most likely,
California's pretty much always in a fire band.
Yeah,
let's just be real.
I'm the type of asshole if my girlfriend and I were having a baby, we're doing
had that idea,
and we're doing a gender reveal, I would make it green instead of blue or pink just to fuck with everyone. It's like, oh, is it gonna be blue or pink? It's like green. It's a Grinch.
Yeah. Or make them just really boring, just gray and black.
Yeah.
Because gender shouldn't be associated with a color. Anyone can wear pink. Anyone can wear blue.
Or just a regular fire, not a fire with colors, just a regular fire.
Yeah. Anyways, getting back to holiday traditions. So I found on the Atlantic, they have a whole article, and it has illustrations. So maybe I'll throw it into the links. But Family's Weird Holiday Traditions Illustrated. I know this is audio, but either way, this is one I found funny. A purposely unappetizing Christmas breakfast. From Dan Bransfield. My wife's grandfather said that Christmas was too good, and so there should be at least one thing you don't look forward to. So he cooked a Christmas breakfast of eggs, bacon, toast, and orange juice, put it in a blender, and served it to his kids as a smoothie. My father-in-law heard this story about his father-in-law and thought it was hilarious. So he made it a tradition with my wife and her sisters. But instead of doing the same thing every year, certain family members come up with an idea to surprise everyone else. There's always a theme to it. It could be food from the Grinch, Who pudding, rare Who roast beef, etc. Our Elf, spaghetti crumbled Pop-Tarts, maple syrup. Our poop, cat box filled with Cocoa Krispies topped with plops of undercooked pumpkin pie filling, refried beans served in diapers, etc. Last year, my son and brother-in-law teamed up to create a silent science lab, dissected frog legs, leche fruit eyeballs floating in a big jar of dry ice smoking out of the top, brains made of jello, and bowl of worms. We laugh a lot, and I always think, I bet nobody else in the world is eating the same thing we are right now. Probably not.
Probably not, yeah.
That's pretty fun.
That's a weird
I love how it started. It started as just a simple thing that the grandpa did, and then they just went all out with it. They decided this is going to be our thing.
That seems to me a lot of these weird holiday traditions are like.
Oh, this is one that I do. This is one that I do, and I'm sure you've done. Celebrating New Year's Eve with video games and cheap pizza.
Yeah, absolutely. Classic. New Year's is one of my favorite holidays because it is somehow one of the most depressing holidays for me. I spent one New Year's and I actually, after this, I make an effort. I have a glass of whiskey every New Year's. But I had one New Year's. I do
champagne.
I was at my parents' house, basic. And they went out with the rest of my family to some New Year's party. And for some reason, I couldn't go. Either I didn't want to, or I wasn't feeling great, so I didn't go. And I just was at home by myself drinking whiskey. And I had a fiddle, and I learned how to play Auld Lang Syne on the fiddle.
There you go.
And it was just me alone with a bottle of whiskey, very badly playing a violin. And
to be honest,
but I make an
I've
effort
had
to
some.
have a whiskey on New Year's because it's
This may sound lame, but I prefer a low key, chill New Year's Eve than
yeah.
a crazy like
Well, it's
party.
what I said about it's a depressing holiday, not in a bad way. It's kind of like depressing in like
It's
a
depressing
melancholy type of way, you know.
from the viewer's perspective.
Yeah.
From the listeners right here.
We're just being really
Here's a
depressing
good
right
one.
now.
This is from the Atlantic. Superstitious New Year's with coal and whiskey. I come from a Scottish background that marries superstition with religion. Not good bedfellows. Um, not good bedfellows. Before the new year, all debts to family or friends must be paid. The house must be thoroughly clean with no dirty laundry. That's the precursor. There's not much time for partying with the duties that must be completed before midnight. Plus, a bowlful of peas must be consumed to ensure there's money in the new year. Speaking of which, a big New Year tradition, at least that I've always done. Well, I haven't been doing it recently because I didn't really care about it too much, and it's just superstition. Yeah. But eating black-eyed peas. For New Year's, have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah,
there's one.
My family is part Scottish, and Scotland from New Year's is pretty popular there, and it comes from for a long time. Like they couldn't celebrate Christmas because of the English. It was like outlawed and stuff, which was weird.
Wow, that's quite rude.
So New Year's is more popular. So my family's always really liked New Year's. We've always, but I like low-key New Year's though.
Yeah. So yada yada yada. Okay, so I guess I'll continue reading it. It's a lot though. And then it's on the Mission Impossible. The first footer. The first footer is the person who will take the first step over your threshold on New Year's morning. This is quite specific. It must be a man, and he needs to be tall and very dark-haired and brown-eyed. He must carry a slice of bread, a flask of whiskey, a measure of milk, and a lump of coal. And then he must bless all the rooms in the house. All to ensure heat, food, and whiskey for whatever occasion is needed. I married a handsome but blue-eyed, red-haired man who by custom carries the worst possible luck as his first footer. Red hair is highest on the scale of bad luck, and of course most Scots are of that coloring. One year my husband could not leave the house in the event he would be the first one back in. We waited 3 days before we coerced a work colleague to gather the necessities and enter our house. I now collect the items and leave them outside New Year's Eve so that my son can enter with blessings and thus free me for the year. Do I believe this works? No. I have had some very bad years. But can I release myself from superstition? Absolutely not. It's time for me to look for a lump of coal already. Not easy to find in this century.
I know where to get a lump of coal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to find.
Like right now, I could go get a lump of coal right now.
This century. Yeah, I mean, you could get it. Bag of charcoal. I mean, if that counts.
Go to the fucking.
Either way,
the train, dude.
The train. Yeah,
the train. They will sell you a lump of coal.
But not everyone has a train nearby.
We have an old-fashioned steam engine near our
steam engine. Yeah, so
you can go there and buy a lump of coal. I mean, it's very touristy, but it's coal. My sister did that once.
And I bet they overcharge it.
She gave me a lump of coal for Christmas.
Well, I mean, a lump of coal could, help you survive, help you get a fire going.
It's valuable.
It has its uses. Yeah. And if you condense it enough and pressurize it enough, you get a diamond if you have the means to do so.
If you have the means.
You'll get some yeah, if you have the means. So,
Sadly, I don't have the means.
No. Do you have anything, Colton?
I've got a few here. So I found
You got some?
Yeah, I've got a list here.
I don't want dead air.
That's why. It's from bustle.com. Okay. They went and they asked all their
Bustle.
readers. Yeah, BUSTLE. They asked their readers for their weird holiday traditions. So we've got a list here.
All right.
This person does a Christmas or holiday shoe hunt where on Christmas we take off our shoes, someone blindfolds us, and we try to find our pair.
That's fun. I'd be annoyed though, slightly.
This person has this is fun. It says we try to find unorthodox wrapping methods for gifts. One time I froze my family's gifts and made them chip their presents out of ice. Another year they were submerged in a fake aquarium. Another year I wrapped them in leaves and moss. My brother used old wire and cassette tapes. That's kind of fun.
Now, what was it?
They wrapped the gifts in really weird ways.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I saw another one on one of my lists where they said they would try to wrap the gifts in like the fanciest of ways.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
And another one with gift wrapping, and this is something we would do. I wouldn't consider it a tradition. It's just clever gift wrapping. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But where you make it, you put it in a box or you put other stuff with it or you put rocks in it or you do something where you make it harder to guess what it actually is.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Especially when you got kids shaking it around or trying to tear into it. If you make it just look as inconspicuous as possible. Sometimes and my mom did change this, but she would wrap what was obviously either a DVD or a video game. She would just wrap it because she liked having different size stuff there, and I was like, I hate to break it to you, but I think I know what this could be, at least what its basics is. And then she started getting fancier and like putting it in a box or something.
Oh, I saw one post online once. It was like a gift, and it was the way it was wrapped. It was clearly a chair, right? Like obvious a chair, and the person posts a picture of it, going like just sarcastic, being like, "I bet it's an iPhone."
What is this? What do you think?
They're like, "I bet it's an iPhone," and then the next post they made was they opened it and it was an iPhone. It was an iPhone on the chair. Then the chair was wrapped.
What? So the chair itself wasn't a gift.
No, the chair wasn't the gift.
It was just like a chair they already had.
Yeah, it was just they put the iPhone on the seat of the chair and then wrapped the chair so nobody would guess that that's an iPhone.
That's pretty good. I like that.
This one here,
that's a lot of work. Wrapping a whole chair.
This one here reminds me of you. This person says their tradition is they put up Christmas decorations right after Halloween.
I don't do it right after. I have a week of solemn.
Yeah.
After Halloween.
I take a few weeks typically.
Now, here's a holiday tradition because we're just talking about holiday traditions. I mean, that me and my girlfriend recently started the last couple of years, a Halloween tree because she got a few years ago a black Christmas tree. And I was like, that's edgy, and that. And then we decided just 1 year, it's like, let's do a Halloween tree. Because I've seen people post about it. And I was like, oh, that's fun. That's a cool way to decorate for Halloween. And so, yeah, now we do a Halloween tree. So technically, after Halloween, we take that off. We already have the Christmas tree ready to go to be decorated. The Christmas way. So, yeah, we do a Halloween tree. And going back to the way... like with wrapping gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
This guy said, Awkward Hedgehog. He said, 1 year my parents got me a guitar. My mom decided to keep it in the box because she'll never know what's in this weird shape. I got home from college, typo. And the first thing I said was, oh, cool, I got a guitar. It didn't go quite like she anticipated. I'm a shitty storyteller.
Because a guitarist knows what a guitar box looks like.
Yeah.
They
Well,
have
especially if
they have a
it's
shape to them.
if you have like an electric guitar case where it is just a rectangle, that leaves more room for the imagination. Maybe it's a keyboard. Maybe it's a really just long box and they just put something small in there. However, if it's just like your standard like form-fitting like acoustic guitar case where it's literally in the shape of guitar, it's like, yeah, you'll be like, yeah, that's a guitar. However, it would be funny if they went through the effort of buying a guitar case, maybe the cheapest one they can find, hard shell. It's got to be hard shell. Wrap it, and you're like, oh my God, it's a new guitar. And then it's just full of rocks.
I did get a guitar once for Christmas, and my parents did not bother wrapping it. They just didn't bother.
I mean, it's like, here you go.
They just hit. They
really have to.
They just hit it in the garage, and then Christmas morning they just put it out by the tree. They're like, that's yours.
Yeah, I wouldn't care.
Yeah,
anyone that would complain about, you got me a new guitar. It's like, yeah,
exactly. I was happy about it. But they didn't. They didn't bother wrapping it, which I understand.
Yeah. That's an awkward thing to wrap, and that takes a lot of wrapping paper. Actually,
here's this person says they do Christmas Olympics. Says every year we have Christmas family Olympics. Everyone splits into 2 to 4 teams. No significant others, spouses, or siblings are allowed on the same team. We play a myriad of games
that are
Christmas themed, like Christmas Jeopardy, musical chairs, charades, name that tune, etc. The best part is that each Christmas family Olympics ends with the gimme game. The moderator calls out an item, and the first team to bring it to the moderator wins. The items are never simple. 10 shoelaces tied together, a set of wedding rings, a bra, 2 mismatched Christmas socks, a hair from one of our grandmas, and chapstick.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a fun idea.
I will say, this being my first sober podcast, it's not as fun. It's not as easy for me to be like all funny and everything. But here's one I almost forgot to talk about. Elf on the Shelf.
Oh yeah.
This is one that a lot of people are doing nowadays. It's a more recent tradition. It's a manufactured capitalist tradition, basically, because I mean, there's a whole book that goes with it.
It wasn't really a thing when I was a kid.
No, and the book came out in 2005, and it was the author's Christmas tradition. And yeah, you put like this little creepy elf on a shelf, and then you move them around, apparently like every night. And I don't like this. I'm glad we never did it, and I don't get it because honestly it weirds me out. I don't like little people, and if I was a kid and you told me this elf well, like abnormally little people tiny, like fairies and stuff, they freak me out. But Elf on the Shelf, if I was a kid, it would kind of freak me out because the whole idea of it is he's in a different spot every day. Like the parents or something rearrange him, or he rearranges himself. If you get really spooked, if you believe in that kind of thing.
My little sister.
Apparently, well, the whole idea is if you're a kid, the parents tell the kid, "Hey, the elf on the shelf. Every night he goes back to the North Pole and makes sure if you're naughty or nice. He checks if you're naughty or nice with Santa. Then he comes back. That's why he's in a different spot, and he's like spying on you."
Right.
It's a little elf that spies on your kids.
My little sister's a teenager. She's a teenager,
and you got all the memes from it.
And so she's a teenager, and my dad does Elf on the Shelf with her now.
Yeah, I mean it's a new,
and he has fun. No, he has a lot of fun with it.
I bet you could have fun with it.
Puts it in very compromising positions. He's put it in a noose. He's posed it with kitchen knives. He's put it in very sexual positions. Sometimes,
I mean, that's exactly kind of what I'm.
They have vaulted ceilings at their townhome, and sometimes he just tries to throw it onto one of those really high windowsills.
That's great. No, I mean, I could see as a parent though, you could have a lot of fun with it freaking your kids out, or
that's
putting them in funny positions. However, if let's say you were a little kid, like real young, and you were convinced that this elf on the shelf is real and he spies on you for Santa, I would not like that. In fact, I would probably antagonize him. And another good thing that came from Elf on the Shelf is all the memes. It's like, you've heard of Elf on the Shelf. What about what's one? One I saw recently was Kanye on a Yahtzee, and you can make what that means because of all his controversy and anti-Semitism, and he's pretty shitty. And
I don't know exactly at what point it cut out there. But anyway, we had some technical difficulties.
Yeah, you'll just put in a little static or something,
Yeah,
it's typical. Or the sound you get when the TV goes on where it has all the colors.
Yeah,
that's static, isn't it?
There's the static, and then there's that dial tone or whatever it is.
That always scared me.
Yeah,
that's some analog horror right there.
Really while we were dealing with those technical difficulties, I was so jealous of your coffee that I went and got myself a cup.
You made yourself a cup?
Well, I warmed up some coffee in the pot that was still in the pot from earlier today.
There you go.
Yeah, it's not a special coffee.
We were talking about Elf on the Shelf, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's your typical Elf on the Shelf meme. You've heard of Elf on the Shelf? Now get ready for Shrek on a deck. But it's always just a picture, so you have to know.
Yeah,
you have to fill it in.
Admittedly, there have been ones that I didn't get.
It took I knew the Kanye on the Yahtzee one. I was like, okay, I see what they're doing here. Nazi on Yahtzee.
Yeah.
But everyone in the comments were like, coming up with all kinds of. One guy was like, yeah, Nazi on a Yahtzee. Another guy was like, and then there's people that just oblivious to all the controversy. They're like, Kanye on Yahtzee, that doesn't even rhyme and anything. But you always have those people
who just don't.
Sometimes I'm one of those people. I'm like, I do not understand this.
I was
most of the time I'm like, I don't care to figure it out. If I don't get it the first time, it's not.
What's crazy about Kanye is how within the last month he has gone from
he's destroyed his
someone who just said some mildly anti-Semitic stuff to being associated with Nazis within the last month.
Yeah,
and escalated so quickly.
With Yeezus, his sneakers, and his brand, he's had deals. All the companies he had deals with, like the Gap and stuff, were like, we are not associating with you. We're no longer to sell. He's not a billionaire anymore because of this. He's lost so much money. I mean, it's like when you have that much money, and all you have to do is just not be an ass. Don't be an ass.
But what also just shocks me is how quickly it escalated.
Oh, it was fast.
It was so fast. He went from just he was banned from Twitter for some anti-Semitic comments.
Yeah, he got banned from Twitter. Yep.
And then within the last month, now he's hanging out with Nick Fuentes.
I don't know who that is, but
Nazi man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Nazi man. Nazi man that Donald Trump likes. Yeah. Look him up. He's a raging piece of shit. But
speaking of which, a lot of these Elf on the Shelf memes get pretty racy and they get bad. Some of them.
You've heard of Elf on a Shelf? Now get ready for Donkey Kong on a thong.
See, that's a racy.
You've heard of Elf on a Shelf, and now get ready for Danny
I just
DeVito
saw
on
one.
a Speedo.
Oh, you've heard of Elf on the Shelf? Now get ready for Danny DeVito in a burrito.
Oh, yeah, I have Danny DeVito in a Speedo.
What's this one? It's got Bush on it.
I got Yoda on a Toyota here.
That's pretty good. Any other traditions we want to mention?
Let's see. I'm sure there's others.
Oh, this one's not good. This isn't nice. Oh, there's a lot of this is from BuzzFeed. Wow, and apparently this is from BuzzFeed staff and writers. So this is their tradition. So yeah, it says we recently asked members of the BuzzFeed community and staff to share their favorite family holiday traditions. Here are the festive results, it says. Festive results. And in one of them, I just stumbled upon it, looking for some content here. And where is it? Yeah, number 16, bully your mother. The Christmas tradition our family has is maybe also a form of bullying. We always get the obligatory box or two of Quality Street, and my mother has a fondness for the ones with hazelnuts and caramel in them. I guess mixed chocolate that come in purple wrapping. Me and my dad are often the first ones to open these boxes, so we empty the purple ones out, hide them all except for two, which we save for whenever my mother starts to hunt for them. To save them for herself. When she starts to complain there's none in the box, we start to unwrap them and act like we've had the only two which were in the box. By this time, she's had a couple glasses of wine. Shall we say her language gets a bit colorful towards us until she realizes what we've done. We give her hoard. So they do give it to her. Okay. Eventually, after they drive her to drunken, anger.
That's funny.
But as a general rule of thumb, and this is to all the mothers out there that work so hard to make Christmas good for their kids and everything, don't bully your mother. Bully your dad or your brother, but not your mother. She's the one putting it together, typically, in the household. So don't do it.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good one. We beat each other's asses. Our favorite Christmas tradition is wrapping paper tubes, sword fights on Christmas Eve. I would do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Paper tube sword fights, or you blow into it, that's not too weird. There's another one here on the BuzzFeed one that was interesting to say the least. It's where is it? Oh, I like this one. It's not really like that weird. Make them hunt for their gifts. After eating dinner on Christmas Eve, we would find envelopes that Santa had left in our mailbox, one for each person, containing scraps of paper saying where in the house our presents have been hidden. So like a scavenger hunt for your gifts.
I found one here.
Really fun.
I think this is super wholesome. I like this one. It says, my dad, every year,
wholesome's good too. Yeah.
We bought 2 Christmas trees. One that was perfect that went in the living room. The other one had to be the ugliest tree we could find. Sometimes driving from lot to lot looking, everyone would always offer that tree for free, but he always insisted on paying for it, at least $5. He'd say everything has a value. We'd put it up on the back porch and decorate it just as beautifully as the living room tree. He used to say, how would you feel if you were the only tree no one wanted to take home?
Well, yeah, that's like the story in Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah, and I think
they get the wholesome. Little wimpy little tree.
I love the Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah, we talked about it. But I think I'm kind of out. I don't want to bore this episode anymore. I know we just got back on.
Yeah.
But unless you have anything really great.
Not really anything else here.
Because I don't want to get into anything that could be wait here. Okay. Here's one from Reddit. And here's one that I do. Watch the best Christmas movie ever made, Die Hard.
Yes.
But here's another one.
Always got to watch Die Hard.
Nearly every year, my dad will hide a present for my sister, brother, and me inside the tree. One year it was calendars, one year it was gift certificates for grocery stores. But the point is that on the wrapping, he'll write a different from. My calendar came from Osama bin Laden.
Oh, jeez.
My gift certificates came from Barack Obama. Then Dad really throws us off course when he'll skip a year, and all three of us will throw suspicious glances at Dad, then at the tree.
That's pretty good. I like that one.
One other one I saw that
that one here. This person says that their family every Christmas used to go to the airport to watch the planes take off and land.
Why would you want to go out of your way to go to an airport unless it's a nice one?
This is saying
when you don't have to fly.
Now, from the context here, it says it starts with if you can imagine this being possible, which tells me that maybe this is an older person and this was pre 9/11.
Oh yeah, because you couldn't enter any of the you can't enter any of the terminals unless you go through TSA and you're actually flying.
Yeah. And then they also continue and say, I think my parents just needed a break from the house and everything else was closed.
So let's
kind of makes actually a little bit of sense. Airport. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here's a pretty good one. This is from the Atlantic article I was reading. Throwing pop away. When I was little, 15 to 30 family members would gather at my grandparents' house on Christmas Day. Everyone got presents from at least one person in each of the families. My mom is one of the 5, and sometimes even more. This produced a lot of torn wrapping paper, ribbons, etc. And all this went into a giant trash can, but it would still be overflowing. So my grandpa would always climb into the trash can to push everything down so the rest of it could fit. Yeah, I would do that like with leaves and stuff. You jump in, push it down.
Yeah.
Then we would drape ribbons and stick bows on him while he was in there. We called it throwing pop away. Even when he got older and sick from cancer, I'm sorry to hear that. We still filled a smaller cardboard box with some of the wrapping paper and he would climb in. Now that he's gone, several family members have kept the tradition going.
Wow.
That's funny and wholesome.
Yeah. Anyway,
anyways,
I mean,
I'm kind of out of the funny ones.
We could talk about
there's still more to be
all sorts of Christmas traditions, but like we said at the beginning of the episode, we don't want to step on any like.
Yeah, I feel like the longer we talk, we're gonna end up like going on an article that talks about traditions in different countries from different cultures. And
although the one that I do want to mention that I think
what's one you want to mention?
Very actually kind of fun is in Japan. They eat KFC on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it was because of a marketing thing back in the 60s or like in the 70s or whatever. But it's they do it because there's this thing of like that's what Americans do on Christmas. They eat KFC, which honestly, fair enough.
I have KFC on Christmas. I want to do it.
Honestly, that sounds like a decent way to spend Christmas. I don't eat KFC very often. I don't think it's great, but it is like a weird every once in a while I treat myself to a little KFC.
Well, and
Christmas would be.
This is a whole other. This is a whole other episode topic, but what other countries think of what American food is, or like American culture, and Japan with the KFC and it's just funny, like they latching on to one of the things that is found here in America.
If you're listening now, go listen to our fast food ranking episode.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot we did that. And I remember I pissed off somebody.
Oh,
we
really?
Pissed someone off. He commented, this guy that works at Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
Because we put Chick-fil-A at F because of the owners very homosexual, and it's an openly not homo sorry whoa
anti they're
homophobic.
They're homophobic.
Sorry, I'm getting tired. I have the flu. So give me some. But yeah, but anyways, he was like, actually, that's not true. And actually, at my job, we're very accepting. And I was like, I wasn't criticizing individual licensed restaurants. I was criticizing the head of the company.
The company, like the
I'm not making. And yeah, he was like, why is it an F? And I was like, oh, because. And yeah, it was kind of funny. But
that's pretty good.
But here's the last one because I'm feeling the flu again. To be quite honest, my medicine's wearing off.
Yeah.
But here's the last one to end on. It's pretty fun. It's got a nice little twist at the end. This is from Tigress 1427, 9 years ago. So my uncle received the prepackaged and extremely unappetizing fruitcake as a Christmas present when he was about 17. As a joke, he wrapped it up and gave it to my grandmother, his mother, on Christmas Day. The next year, my uncle opened his final Christmas present for my grandmother. It was the fruitcake, still uneaten and still unwrapped. A legacy began. Every Christmas, the current bearer of the fruitcake gave it to the other in increasingly ludicrous ways. One year, my grandmother asked my uncle to pour the orange juice on Christmas morning. Inside the carton was the fruitcake. Another year, an anonymous gift of gourmet Jell-O arrived on my uncle's door. Suspended within it was the fruitcake. The next year, my uncle baked the fruitcake into a loaf of bread. While my grandmother was cutting the bread, she cut the end off of the fruitcake. She nailed it back on with a roofing nail. Often, third parties are coerced into assisting with the delivery. When my mother married my father, her initiation process as the new daughter-in-law was to present my grandmother of Christmas with the fruitcake. My grandmother retired from the school board one Christmas, and her confused supervisor's parting gift to her was the fruitcake. And the way they're writing this, it's literally the same fruitcake.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Every year. At least that's what it seems.
Not just a fruitcake, the same one.
No, the fruitcake. It's the fruitcake. Next.
Oh, jeez.
The fruitcake arrives in decorative wreaths. It is found in a daughter's dollhouse. It is lowered from the ceiling with twine during Christmas dinner. The fruitcake is 36 years old this Christmas, and this is 9 years ago. So if they're still doing this,
holy shit!
Yeah, it's like a 45-year old fruitcake. And this guy comedy said, "Holy fucking shit, this is awesome." The part about lowering it from the ceiling reminds me of a non-Christmas family anecdote. My brother, when he was about 30 at the time, kept telling my mother that he felt a ghostly presence in the house. He did this with increasing intensity. For several weeks, my mother, being extremely gullible, grew more and more anxious about this. Finally, after about a month of building suspense, my brother runs into the kitchen. We notice the lights are flashing on and off, and my mom starts screaming. Obviously, he was just flicking the lights on and off, but my mother was too scared to notice. Then my brother shouts, "Holy God, the ghost is here. It's here. I see a full apparition." And as my mom and I run to the kitchen, we see a can of Cheese Whiz suspended above the kitchen table by fishing line. I have literally never heard anyone scream that loud ever. Can of Cheese Whiz.
The ghost Cheese Whiz.
But yeah, the ghost Cheese Whiz. But yeah, the fruitcake one, I love. I mean, they've been doing that forever, and
that's a good.
Imagine how nasty it is.
A family tradition there. Yeah, I like that.
That's a really good one.
Oh God.
You know, but anyways, if you want to participate in this podcast a little bit, let us know, and I'll ask whenever I share the episode and everything. What is a unique Christmas tradition your family has, or
yeah, we want to know,
or an anecdote or something that you know from a friend, or let us know about your crazy Christmas traditions or otherwise holiday traditions. Or if you just have any kind of tradition, let us know. Because it's fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm about pooped.
Yeah, it's
for this episode.
Yeah.
So we will see you next week.
We'll finish it.
Yeah. You have something?
No. Let's say we're finishing.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week. And should we give a hint? Leave it to their imagination.
Yeah. It is your wildest dreams.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're doing another dreams episode. Wow. Crazy.
Wow.
It's been a while. Anyways, no.
All right.
You'll see.
This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. The Odd Drunk Podcast recommends you follow their Instagram and join their Facebook group for more fun content. To visit all of our current streaming and social media platforms, visit the link tree in the description. If you enjoy the show, we would be appreciated if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts. The Odd Drunk Podcast would like to remind you to drink responsibly and not to drink and drive. Okay, Colton, you can roll the outro now.